awesome. And his beautiful wife, Sylvia, I always call her the First Lady now of the Happy Coffee here, and I'm going to turn it over to them.
Well, Jennia, it's
You're so nice.
You're
Thank
so
you,
kind.
Jennia.
You're making me blush.
Which is a good thing. It's very cold here too.
It is. Hey, it's perfect time to be blushing. It's come up to Valentine's weekend. So anyway, appreciate being on here with all of you guys. I know we're on a Zoom here together. Some of you we're all watching maybe on a phone or on a computer or laptop or what tablet or whatever. We're just going to be with you here for about 10 minutes so we can just share with you. And just first of all, I just want to say welcome, just give you a quick overview and so you can see what it is that we have here and why we're excited. I mean, we're going to talk about a simple concept. It sounds very obvious. You agree with this 100% already. We'd all love to go from a consumer to being an earner online because you can see all the money that Amazon and everybody else is making today. And we started off with a simple concept, which is Happy Coffee, and we're the original and we're the number one.
Have you heard about the new Happy Coffee everyone's talking about? I mean, what an easy thing to say. It's so simple because everybody drinks coffee or something like it pretty much every morning. In fact, over 400 million cups are consumed before noon every single day. Guys, that's huge. That's a huge market. And when you look at our coffee that we have, the Happy Coffee, it tastes great. It's not like one of these things that you have to go, ugh, it's good for me, so I have to take it, but it tastes bad. It tastes awesome. Like in my mind, it tastes better than a Starbucks. I literally wake up craving the taste of our coffee.
Less than the drip cup of coffee at Starbucks, a small one.
I love that. It's less expensive.
And it's not just coffee you're feeling. You're feeling happy like when you walked into a Starbucks. Remember that pre-pandemic? You feel happy. You've got energy that's productivity and focus. People feel healthier. It's got antioxidants and lots of other cool stuff. And people are losing weight. Why is that? It seems like when they drink the coffee, they don't think about food as much. And side benefit, they're losing weight.
Well, who wouldn't love that right now? Who's, that extra quarantine 15 or whatever it is. People are looking for this right now. They want to feel happy. They want to have energy. They want to be healthier, and they want to lose a little weight too. And especially with something that's more convenient, like you were saying, Garrett, this delivered to your doorstep in this everything we want to have delivered, don't we? We're like groceries are delivered now. Everything is just more convenient.
And it's a habit we already have. We drink something probably every day. For most of you, it's coffee. So
you already have a
budget for it. You already got that habit, so it's easy. High retention. And simple to share.
It is. It's simple to share.
Getting easier.
Yeah, when it's something this good and you have a website, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute, and it's fun. I mean, what's more fun? Hey, let's go for coffee. Whether you're sharing a cup of coffee with a friend in person or virtually, like we're all doing here tonight.
So how well has it worked? Well, guys, for people just like you, started off on a Zoom, watching it, maybe got a sample. We paid out over $65 million. We were recognized, and that was in our sales in our second year. That was just in 1 year.
Yeah.
Social Selling News described as being the number 2 fastest growing company in the United States. And in Direct Selling News, with the Global 100, number 48. So a lot of great things are happening and changing people's lives.
That's pretty incredible. Just in the second year alone to do 135 million in sales. And when you understand that that benefits you too, because you can earn commissions when you share it, which is fun. And timing is everything, isn't it? Our pre-launch is right now, literally this week. You couldn't be at a better time. And we all understand, hey, wouldn't it be great if, we bought stock in Starbucks, or we bought stock in Microsoft or Facebook or Apple or any of these companies, when they were just at a certain point of about to take off. And that's where we're at right now.
It is. People say real estate, location. But what is in business? Timing.
So true.
And we started off with a very simple truth that couldn't be even more true today, which is we believe everyone deserves to be happy.
And everyone wants to be happy.
Yeah, exactly.
So we work together with the same marketing company and team that put together Kylie Jenner's marketing. Last year, 2019, she became the youngest self-made billionaire ever. She actually made history with that. Who did she help to create that, to go online, to create her digital presence? She chose the company that we partnered with. They've also worked with Red Bull. They've worked with a lot of companies you probably heard of before: Movement Watches, Chubbies, Rebecca Minkoff, Untuckit, Thrive Cosmetics. And they helped us take who we all are, who we've been since the beginning, and elevate it to really, what it is that we're doing today and moving into the future.
Makes me dance.
Me too. It's like that happy dance for the Happy Co.
I love it.
We are launching the Happy Co. Life Elevated, and we are launching it big time this week. So these are just some of the things that they that we put together, that they helped us create, that really express that brand, that Life Elevated, the Happy Co. Even HCO for Happy Co. It's kind of like H2O, isn't it? Like the molecule of water, that molecule of life. This is like the molecule of happy. This is what it's all about. And we're going to have it available and make it simple for you, and things like a brand new app. Isn't it right, Garrett?
So it's as simple as this. Think about this. You already know how to be successful. You've done the things that require success. If you've ever sent a video to someone, if you've ever got on and say, whoops, check mark, you've already done that one right now. Or you've invited someone else on a Zoom. Most of us have done that in the pandemic. Or you sent a link or a text to someone, or you ever said to someone when they ask you the question, where did you get that? I got it online. Maybe you're even more specific. I got it online on Amazon. For example, you already know what to do to build a business, and we're making that even simpler today.
And I love that you can just send a sample by pushing a button. And that's what that relationship marketing married with e-commerce, so that connection commerce, it's that glue in between, but we make it simple for you and we pay you for it. That's really where the future is. That's really where it's
How
headed.
rich would you be if you got paid for every time you sent someone to Amazon? Or it tracked every ripple effect that you created after that? You'd be just like Jeff Bezos.
Exactly. And we're going to have those Amazon style, beautiful e-commerce websites. And I mean, heck, I think they're even better, because how beautiful and gorgeous are these websites going to be, and how just attractive the products look.
And it launches next week, and people
Yep.
are literally saying, they can go on, they go, oh my gosh, it looks like the coffee tastes great, or those products taste great. It looks super convenient. People are looking at that and going, hey, it's obviously at a great price. People are looking happy. And
recipes.
They're looking, it's healthy. They're seeing the science. They're understanding why people are losing weight. They really just get the productivity and focus. They're going, why wouldn't I want to have this product? It's almost like it's free to me, because I'm already drinking a product anyway. I'm just going to buy it from you guys. I love the stories.
You're just swapping where you buy it, but you're getting all these extra benefits.
And it
How
makes
cool is
complete sense.
that?
Yeah, I'm getting better value. I mean, it's just amazing. And people go, I think I'll add this on as well from some additional benefits. What's not to love? Why wouldn't I want to do this? This just makes complete sense to me. Click.
Yeah, there's some really cool, bundles, like you said, Slim and Chill, and, Energy and Focus, and all these different, when you bundle these products together, the huge impact it's made in people's lives. And you're going to hear from some of them. Another thing that we're going to be launching is a brand partner website as well. So for example, instead of, maybe I have to show up on a Zoom, I could just go to the website and I could watch a video. I could, find out about it there as well, on that new webpage and website that is coming right at the same time next week. This is a little bit, this just shows the video that plays on that brand partner website, that really shares with people what we're doing here together, the connection and the different community aspects to what we do, what we're all doing here together, the impact you can have, the income that people have, been able to create here, some of the fun and family things, and just the way their lives have changed. Maybe it's the freedom, maybe it's having, the ability to make choices in your life that you weren't able to make before, because you had that additional income just from sharing, that you create that ripple effect where, through kind of that word of mouth connection commerce, like Garrett was talking about, you can create that kind of abundant life that you're looking for.
And you're always saying, of course, by now you're going, of course I want all those things. The real question is, can I do it? And really what's involved is inviting someone to look at that website and then they make their mind up. You're just connecting them to the website.
Yeah.
And then you're connecting them to the distributor side, which makes them feel, well, maybe I want to do this because I love the product. I'm already recommending other people to the website. Why wouldn't I want to make some money? And when I see all the tools that you have here and how simple that you've made it, these just make sense to me. And the fact that you're doing it online,
Like samples.
you can fit it in the nooks and crannies of your day. You can press the button, send a sample, just like that. Perfect pandemic times. I mean, it's got all the bells and whistles that people are literally going, this is pretty much a no-brainer from their perspective, because they're going, I can do this. I can literally do this. And they go, well, who would I be doing it with? You know, from a corporate perspective, who have you got in your team? We've got hundreds of years of experience with people who have done incredible things already, who have come together to do their best work ever to really help people like you realize some of their goals and dreams and aspirations and build an online business.
And it's not just virtual and online tools, it's also things like magazines. Well, we're going to have a virtual copy of it as well, but literally like newsstand type magazine, Be Happy, that's going to be coming out. You're going to have new business starter kits. We've taken what we know works, what's proven, and they're going to be new business starter kits. So there's just a whole lot of exciting things that you're just on the cusp of, you're just on the verge of in that pre-launch time.
And it's attracting more people, because we are a public company and we've attracted one of the most successful online investors. People have described him as the Elon Musk of investing, and they've talked about what he's done here. And he's, had a company's market value of over $19 billion. He's got a 40-year track record, 35 corporations generating over $1 billion in profits annually. Publicly traded on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, the Singapore Stock Exchange, and also on the New York Stock Exchange. So why would that be important to you? Well, with all of those resources and analysis available to him, he's chosen to say, this is my legacy. This is my stand. This is what I want to leave to the world. I want to build another $1 billion company. Why would you care that a billionaire builds another $1 billion company? Because he said, I want to create wealth for generations for people like you. Because the way the compensation plan is organized, it will pay up to $500 million of that back in commissions to people like you, and wants to make it more accessible by creating more technology so that more people can do it and help people just like you. So let's meet some of those people rather than hearing Sylvia and I talk about it. Not that I don't love to hear you talk, Sylvia. I absolutely love it. And let's just send it to Jennia. Thank you so much for the kind words that you shared and for inviting Sylvia and I to have a little bit of time here with everybody, and just hand it right back to you, and looking forward to hear what others have to share here. So thank you and God bless.
Of course. Thank you so much, Garrett and Sylvia. I don't think you guys understand, before I introduce our next three guests, the fact that our president and his beautiful wife, who has a huge thing to do with our company as well, is not only on this call tonight, but other things that we do in the company is absolutely unheard of. I don't think you guys understand. This is a huge deal, and they care so much that they want to hop on every Zoom and make sure that we have all of the opportunities and all the information. So every time I see them, it just makes my heart so happy. So Thank you so much, Garrett and Sylvia. I really appreciate it. So of course, we're going to hear from some ladies tonight. It's actually going to be a powerhouse of ladies. So gentlemen, it's okay. Don't be intimidated. We have an awesome rock star lineup tonight. So it's actually going to go Misty, Amanda, and then Miss Carol, who's one of my dear friends. So go ahead, Misty, take it away. You're number one.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me on tonight. Like Jennia said, my name is Misty Lee, and I am coming to you guys tonight from Arkansas. We are actually frozen in tonight. It has been terrible weather today, so we can't go anywhere, but so this is a perfect time for me to hop on tonight with you guys. And you guys, I've been married to my husband for 23, coming on to 23 years. We have two young adult children who are 22 and 20. So as you can tell, we got started at a pretty early age, and so to kind of bring you guys forward, I'm gonna have to take you back just a little bit. But we got married at a very young age. I mean, I was 2 weeks into being 20. We had literally no money. We were both in college. I had to drop out of college. My husband was playing basketball in college. And he just he had to keep going. So I stayed home with my kids till they both started kindergarten, and just had to kind of navigate the tough pieces of life early on and just figure it out. And I saw kind of a little bit of interest in this industry very early on, but of course, it was long before the ages of social media. And I'll just tell you really quickly, I felt miserably at that time. I didn't feel like I was a salesperson. I didn't feel like I knew what I was doing. I didn't have any sort of guidance or leadership. And so I gave up on that for a while. Finally, when I decided, when they went to kindergarten, went back to nursing school, and I got my degree as an RN, graduated with honors, did the whole thing. And, I love the profession. It is a great, great career path for people to take. However, what I found was that we were still living paycheck to paycheck, and I was missing events in my children's lives. I couldn't go to Christmas parties very often. Their little spring flings that they do where they go out and run around the track and do all the things there. I was missing those things. I was missing some ball games, events that I knew that I would never get that time. I would never get back with them. So that always really tugged on my heart. Here I am living paycheck to paycheck, yet I'm having to miss these events in my kids' life. So I kind of started looking back into the industry, not at the beginning of social media times, of course, but it was long well into social media, and had an opportunity kind of fall in my lap then, kind of dabbled a little bit with it, had a little bit of success there, but it was, with the product that, although it was great, whatever, it was very, it just wasn't affordable. And I always knew that in my heart. And so I, at some point in there, started kind of having some turmoil with that, and decided that, I feel like I'm feeling a shift here. And about that time, a friend of mine reached out to me, and she had just lost her baby, and she was going through a really, really deep, dark time, obviously, as we all would. And when she reached out to me, she said, I know you're going to think this is crazy, but she was doing her best. She didn't want to try to be on medication to deal with the emotions that she was dealing from the loss of her baby.
Oh, hey.
But I think we got unmuted somewhere in there.
Hi.
Um, so,
Yeah.
uh-oh. I think anyway, so I think we're good now. So she was dealing with some, obviously some mental health issues related to that. And she said, I know you're going to think this is crazy. I haven't been wanting to take the medication, but I've had to do it this whole time to kind of get through these emotions. She said, but I drank this cup of coffee, and I literally forgot to do that today. It's made me happy. It's given me energy. My husband came home and I had cooked a meal, and I was like, well, if that's how you feel, this is something that I haven't heard of. And I said, send me some samples of it. So she did. I tried it immediately as I was drinking it. Before I had ever even finished the cup of coffee, I kind of felt like, I feel like I'm feeling something here. So I got my husband to try it, and he drank it, and it was a Saturday morning. I'll never forget, because he was sitting on the couch drinking his coffee, and the next thing you know, he had disappeared. And I finally, about 30 minutes had gone by, and I was like, where in the world is he? So I found him in the laundry room doing laundry, and I knew in that moment that we had a winner on our hands. I was like, all the ladies are definitely going to want to get their hands on this. They will find, if they can find their husband in the laundry room smiling, doing laundry without even like having to like be asked, or he was doing it with a smile on his face. I literally took a picture of him in the moment, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do this as a business just yet. But if I do, this is going to be my first post that I make. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Did a lot of praying about it, did a lot of thinking, talking to my family, made the jump. And I am coming up on my 2-year anniversary now, here in a couple of months. And when I took that leap, it was an exciting one. I really, in the first 3 months, matched my income as an RN case manager. I was working it in the nooks and crannies of my day, working a 40-hour week. If you know anything about RN case management, it is definitely time consuming, and I was able to make it work. I quickly ran to the 1%, top 1% of the company, and then to Black Diamond, doubled my income as an RN case manager. And about Christmas time last year, I was like, you know what? I think I want to do this full time. I think I want to leave that whole nursing thing behind, although it's been a great profession for me. Um, I wanted that time freedom, that financial freedom, and I felt like it was holding me back. So I took the full leap, resigned from my RN case management position in on New Year's Eve of last year. So I just celebrated my first full year, and what a year to make that leap, right? I did not predict the pandemic was about to happen when I made a huge life decision, but it has been an incredible blessing to my family. My husband and I now are getting to work from home together, something that I've always wanted to be able to do. And here we are living that. And thanks to the corporate leadership that we have with Garrett and Sylvia, with David, with Keith. I mean, I could go on. And of course, the OR team that we have as well. So you guys, you're definitely in good hands here. It has been a huge blessing to me and my family, and I hope to see some of your faces soon. So I think Amanda is coming up right next.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Misty.
You're welcome.
Yes. Hey, everybody. My name is Amanda Taylor. I am from Bowling Green, Kentucky. I'm a wife, a mom, a daughter, a sister, a friend. But I have two boys. Tucker is 15. Cooper is 4. I say all the time, one cries and one rolls their eyes. And there's never a truer statement than that. So let me tell you a little bit about my story, how I got here, and where we're at today. So it will be, let me think, 3 years this coming up March. And I would say back up to about February. So about right now, this time, my cousin started posting about this coffee. And I was like, I don't drink coffee. I don't like coffee. I'm not a Starbucks girl. I had no interest in it. So she would make these posts. And again, I just would cheer her on because we're family. But I had no interest in it until the day I saw her make a post, and she said, I made enough to pay for daycare. And I was like, daycare is expensive. And so it kind of clicked. Maybe I could drink this cup of coffee. Maybe. If it's going to pay for daycare, and I'm not making any claims as far as how much money you can make if it's going to pay for your daycare. But I started thinking to myself, what if? And so I said, hey, send me a sample. I just wanted a sample. I didn't want any more than that because I didn't want to be that girl. I didn't want to be selling something. And so she sent me a sample. Actually, she sent me 30 days worth of samples. And the first day, y'all, I was so blown away. That first day, I knew I had to sign up. So I drank my first cup that morning around 8 o'clock. By that afternoon, I was like, I've got to do this. I've got to share this with my friends. I've got to share this with my family, with everybody, because it just totally, I can't describe it. I was the type of person that thought about food 24/7. I woke up hungry. I went to bed hungry. I had food in my brain. I was eating one meal, thinking about the next. And so I was like, this cup of coffee has stopped that. I no longer have food on my brain. And so I knew I wanted to. So that night, I remember it, y'all, just as clear as yesterday. And it's been almost 3 years. We were going to our friends to eat dinner that night. And I knew I had to talk to my husband about this because that's a big decision. I couldn't just make the decision by myself. And so we're in the car and we're going there. And I said, I had that coffee this morning. I said, I think I want to do this. And he's like, do what? And I said, I think I want to join Courtney and sell the coffee. And he says, okay. And y'all, the next thing that came out of my mouth was, I just want to see Chris Stapleton. I have no idea where it came from. I fell out crying. He looks at me. He thinks that I'm literally like having some kind of breakdown. And he's like, are you okay? I was like, I'm fine. At that point though, y'all, I wanted more for us. I wanted more, just extra, like to be able to do and not just live. We weren't living paycheck to paycheck, but I wanted more than what we had. I wanted to try to help us. And so I signed up that night, March 31st, 2018. And I'm so glad I became one of those people, because y'all, I'm no salesperson. My husband is a salesperson. He sells cars. He's a manager. But he is a salesperson. I simply share, y'all. And if you can have a conversation with somebody, it's that easy. It's as easy as just carrying on a conversation, sharing. It's that easy. And so I said yes. Probably about 8 months into this, I could have walked away from my job, and I had a good job. But my job was helping people get their disability. And I love that job. I love being able to help people, but I knew I could help so many more people. And so, I was a little scared to walk away, not knowing, but a year into it, I said goodbye to my 40-hour-a-week job. I came home. I'm able to be more hands-on with my kids. I'm able to take them to school, pick them up, go to the class parties, because let's face it, when you have a job, you don't always get to do that. It iced today and Cooper was home from school, and y'all, I have no family that lives here. And so just the stress of having to get to a job when the job didn't close because of the weather, I have that time freedom. And like somebody just said, that time freedom means more than any paycheck could ever mean. But let me tell you this was my first company. I've never done network marketing before. I never even really knew. I probably turned my nose up at it if people ever asked me about it before in the past. Again, you don't have to have experience. You don't have to have done this before. We have an incredible team, corporate team. Everybody here is amazing, and they're willing to help. All you have to say is, I'm ready. Thank the person that invited you to this call, because y'all, I'm telling you, this call can change your life. You took that first step by saying, yes, I will come tonight, and you showed up here. And I'm telling you, this call tonight, if you say yes, it's wide open as to how far you can go. So thank you for jumping on. Thank you for letting me spend just a few minutes of your time tonight and share my story with you. So Carol, I will turn it over to you now.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Hey guys, I am so excited to be here to share with you all. I've heard Amanda and Misty's story several times before, and it just always inspires me to hear them. I love it. I love hearing the stories, and I feel like my story is maybe just a little bit different. I kind of share some things with Amanda, and you'll hear as I tell, but I am no spring chicken, you guys. I'm 57 years old. This is my first MLM company. In fact, I didn't even know what network marketing was when I fell into this. And I guess I kind of knew what I knew of some companies that now looking back that I knew were MLM companies, but they weren't very respectable. And I didn't have a very high opinion of the ones that I knew. But anyway, I had no clue what it was that real people actually made real money and lived real lives doing this as a career. So I want to tell you just a little bit of my story. I was a high school math teacher. I graduated from college, and literally the next day I started teaching. I taught high school math in a public school. I met my husband and we started a family. We have 3 sons. They're all grown. And our youngest actually just graduated from college in December, and we're empty nesters now. I'm going to be a grandmother this summer for the very first time. So I'm really, really excited about that. I have lots to post on social media, but anyway, we had 3 boys, and when our first came along, we decided I would be a stay-at-home mom. And so for 13 years, I was at home with my kids, and I absolutely loved it. My husband was the main breadwinner. He was in sales and wonderful at that. And my teaching career was something that we kind of used as fluff. It was things that, money that allowed us to do extra vacations and just do extra things that we might not have been able to do otherwise. But when my youngest got into school, when he started school, I went back to teaching, and I taught for a long time. I literally thought I was going to be one of those little old ladies that's like 100 years old, and people are going to be like, when is she going to quit teaching? She's 100 years old. But what I discovered when I went back to teaching was I loved being at home. I loved being a homemaker. I loved the time freedom. I loved being with my family when I wanted and needed to. When my kids were sick, I loved being there. You didn't have to make a doctor appointment for 4:30 in the afternoon all the time, or schedule in the summertime just because you worked all the time. I loved being a homemaker, and I started dreaming of what it would be like. What could I do that would allow me to do that again? And so I started praying. Faith is really huge to me. And so I started praying, and I asked the Lord for something that I could do from home that I would love, that would provide an income for my family. And y'all, I was in my mid-50s. I did not want to go back to school and start a brand new career and have to write a new resume and all that kind of stuff. That just really stressed me out. So I was really sort of depressed, not depressed, but I really felt bad. Like I dreaded the years to come, because I knew I was going to have to teach for a really long time, because in Georgia, you have to have 30 years of experience to retire from teaching. And I was nowhere near that because I had been a stay-at-home mom for so long. And so anyway, fast forward to March of 2018. So Amanda, you and I kind of share that same date, but I was at a point where I needed to lose some weight, and I saw a friend's post on social media. She was not an affiliate with the company or anything. She was just sharing how she had found this company. This Happy Co now it is, at the time was brand new, and there weren't a whole lot of products. Coffee and a couple others was all they had, and it intrigued me. And so fast forward a little bit, I reached out to the person, and she hooked me up with the person who was actually carrying it. And I got some, I loved it. I had an immediate experience. I knew this was something that was going to help me. And so I started using it. It was very affordable. For less than $50 a month, I could have a happy, healthy cup of coffee that was going to help me feel great, that was going to give me the energy that I needed to go and teach, that was going to give me the mental clarity to teach teenagers, and it was going to help me lose some of the weight that I needed. What I didn't know was all the other things that it was going to help, all of the internal benefits. Y'all, it has so many things that these products have cleared up that I won't get into tonight. But so anyway, I immediately had results. And about 2 or 3 weeks after using the products, my sponsor at the time, she popped the question to me. She said, what do you think about doing this as a business? And I'm like, I had no clue what she was talking about. I thought, how hard can this be? I knew nothing about network marketing. And so I was like, oh, sure. If you think I can earn enough to cover what I'm spending on coffee a month, sure, I'll do it. And So she said, all you need to do is just share your story. Tell people what it's doing for you. Share what it's, how it's changing your life, how it's changing you physically, how it's changing you financially, how, what it's doing in your life. Tell your story, tell your why. And so I started doing that. I just started sharing how I was feeling, what I was doing. And amazing enough, people responded to that. People want happiness. People want what we have. And what I found was very quickly, I covered the cost of my coffee. And it wasn't long after that, I thought, I wonder if I could make a couple $100 extra a month, and if I worked a little harder. And so, and again, it wasn't any time before that happened. And fast forward a couple of months, y'all, I was at a leadership position, and I got invited to a leadership retreat. We went to this amazing home, like a mansion to me. Jennia was actually there, and Mama Judy, I saw you on here. She was there, and several of our amazing leaders, and we just got poured into and pampered and taught. And it was an incredible time, y'all. The culture here is absolutely amazing. So fast forward a little bit more to last summer, I actually left my teaching position. I did not retire because, as I said, I don't have enough years to retire, but I walked away from it. I left my teaching position behind, and like the Lord just answered that prayer. He gave me something that I could do from home that I absolutely loved, and that I could make money, real money, and help support my family. And, up until that point, I was just squeezing it into the cracks of my day. I would do it in the morning before I went to school. I would do it in the evenings when I got home. Weekends, holidays, I could do a little more. And y'all, I love it. And I promise you will love it too. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it early in the morning. I wouldn't be doing it late at night. I wouldn't be doing it on the weekends and holidays. And the great thing about this is it's your business, and you can do it whenever you want, whenever you can. And so I was squeezing it in the cracks of my day, y'all, and built to a leadership position in the company. So people are hungry for something that's going to make them happy, and we have it, you guys. All you do is share with your friends, and your friends become your customers because they love what you have. And then your customers then they love it enough to where they want to do what you do, and they become your teammates. And that's literally how you build this business here, you guys. We just share a cup of coffee, and basically the coffee speaks for itself. So, if this 57-year-old introvert can start a business like this, if I can do this. I used to say, if I had to sell something, my family would starve. And y'all, I don't sell anything. I share happiness, and I am extremely excited where Happy Co is going to go in 2021. And so anyway, that's my story, you guys. Thanks, Jennia, for inviting me to share. And thanks, you guys, for listening. I guess I'll turn it back over to Jennia.
Yes, thank you so much. By the way, all those stories are absolutely incredible, and I hate having to go last right before I turn it over to David. He's going to give you some information, but I want to share a story with you all real quick. Of course, we're on this call, and that's what this is all about. So my story is a little bit different than all three. I mean, I am a woman, of course, so I said it's going to be a powerhouse of women tonight. But I always tell people that my life changed about, I would say, 5 years ago. It was around Christmas time. It was about a week and a half before Christmas Eve. And I was putting up the Christmas tree. I am formally married. I'm not married anymore. I am engaged, though. I finally found the love of my life. So all these women saying they're so happily married, I'm hoping that happens for me this time. But I was decorating my Christmas tree, and my son was looking out the window, and I saw these like headlights coming down the driveway. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm living in Wisconsin still right now, but I was living out on a very remote farm road, and it's kind of scary. It's like 9 p.m. at night and there's these headlights coming down. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, something either happened to my in-laws. There's been a farming accident. I was married to a farmer. And so I was like, oh my gosh, something has happened. Well, it wasn't my in-laws. It was actually somebody coming to repossess my car because the car payment had not been paid. So my son, who is 3 years old, is like, Mommy, who's in our driveway? And why are they taking away your car? And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a week before Christmas. I can't believe this. And I'm like looking at my ex-husband, like, didn't you pay the bill? I was in a very bad financial situation at that time. I didn't know how bad it was. It was very, very bad. It was not in a good situation at all. And I had to lie to my son. And I said, oh, those are Santa's elves and they're taking my car away because it's broken. And it just killed me to lie to my son. And I'm like, I can't even make my like, this is not a joke anymore. I am struggling and my life is now going down a different path. So I'm also a former paramedic firefighter and found myself working in an emergency room. So I had done a lot of traumas, obviously, on the truck. I was fighting fires in Virginia, where I'm formerly from, and I was just getting tired. So I was working at a ER hospital, and they took my car away, and I had to drive an hour one way. And I was like, how the heck am I even going to get to work? So I knew that I was probably most likely going to get divorced, and I needed money and I needed something that I could do, because I'm thinking there's no way I can work at an emergency room 12 hours a day, 4 days a week. Who's going to watch my kids? My parents don't live here. You know what I mean? Like, I literally went on to like survival. So what I did was I saw somebody posting about coffee on Facebook, and they said, oh, it makes you feel so happy and all these things. And I was kind of a little bit of a naysayer. I was like, those things don't work. Like, come on, it's a cup of coffee. There's no way this is actually going to work. But if it does, these people are going to be billionaires if this really does work, but we'll see. I actually signed up with the company before I even tried the product, because I'm like, well, I don't even really drink coffee, but I know a lot of my friends do. And if I can sell this stuff and I can pay for, you know, a $5,000 retainer fee for a divorce lawyer, then we're going to be all good and gravy. I signed up for the company about 2 years ago, literally just signed up. I got a bag of my coffee sticks in the mail, and I was like, okay, now it comes in a box. It came in a bag before. And I called my best friend and I was like, we got to sell this stuff. And she's like, what are you talking about? I was like, we're selling coffee. It's going to happen. We're going to do so well. We're going to be coffee queens. And she's like, I kind of think you're crazy. I got her on board, and we literally just sampled and we told everybody about the coffee. I moved out, got an apartment for $300 a month. And I can tell you, being a single mom and being able to pay for my lawyer bill, to be able to walk into a courtroom and say, no, I do not work at McDonald's. Not that McDonald's is bad, but I do not work a minimum wage job. I do not work at a hospital anymore. I am allowed to stay home with my children. I had no lawyer bills at all. And again, this is all determined on how hard you want to work the company. It is possible though, because I've done it. And I was able to get financially free, pay off all my credit cards, pay off the car, get my credit repaired, and I was able to make sure that I had an SUV and all other kinds of things that my kids needed. So if you are a single mom out there and you see either this recording or you are on here right now, it is possible for you to have a better life and a better future for your kids. You do not have to work minimum wage or do what you do. You can actually have a life of happiness. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I have had a wonderful experience here, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. David Litt.
Well, thanks so much, Jennia. And wow, what an amazing story. Let me share my screen here quickly. Let me see if I can do that. But congratulations for, turning your life around and having that personal agency, that decision that you made, and turning that decision into something powerful for you and for your child and for your life, and taking ownership of your life. So I'm just going to wrap up tonight's Zoom by saying, first thing, no matter what you do, try the products. I mean, you heard from Misty and Amanda and Carol and Jennia. I mean, these are instant impact products. They have a different result for different people. Some people lose weight, happiness, energy, focus, whatever it may be. It's based on DOSE, D-O-S-E, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. They're the 4 primary happy hormones. And there's lots of other health benefits as well. And as Garrett and Sylvia said, product's basically free. I mean, if you're already drinking coffee, you can replace your very regular average coffee with something that costs less, that has better impact, that gets delivered. And for about $3.50 a day, you can get that dose duo of the Happy Coffee, Happy Caps. Plus, you also get to make a donation as well. So if you get those two products, our Dose of Hope charities, last year we gave over $100,000 to those charities. All of our products have a 30-day, 100% happy guarantee. So type a 1 in the chat if you drink coffee, and type a 2 in the chat if you know anyone else who drinks coffee. Well, I see lots of coffee drinkers, lots of 1s, lots of 2s. You know, the key to a great business opportunity is a product that's so good that you share it even if you didn't get paid. You heard over and over again, I'm not a salesperson, I'm not a salesperson, but you can and will and always do share good ideas and good products. And so we're disrupting the $80 billion a year coffee market with a better product, with a better price, with home delivery. People are changing their habits, everything delivered online. And you can start your business for just $25 now, $24.95. It's our pre-launch special. We're launching next week with all those beautiful marketing materials and training materials and websites. And if you've got a cell phone and Wi-Fi and a desire to help people, you can do this business. And so that's all it takes to get started. It's really simple. But the reality is that just like opening any business, the more samples you have, the more your store shelves are stocked, the better off you're going to be. We like to say simple, 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 sample, sample, sample. We have a happier pack where you get more samples at a better price. We're going to waive the fee of $24.95. So it's a really great deal to get started with a happier pack. You get 40 dose samples to hand out and share with others, plus some automated mailers. The best way to get started, if you can afford it, is a Happiest Pack. Happiest Packs not only are lower, or you get more samples and it's a better deal, but you set the blueprint that you want to set for other people. So as you come in, lots of people are going to come in the same way that you come in. You get more than double the number of drink samples, 100 dose samples. You get more than double the number of automated sample mailers. You get more product, extra marketing materials, all kinds of goodies. But let's stop talking about cost for a minute and let's start talking about making money. All the stories you heard tonight, all these women got into profit very, very quickly. And certainly not everybody does. But if you're motivated, you follow the system, you get those dose samples, you hand them out and share. All you need is 7 customers to get into profit, because you make almost $400 your first month. Coffee, of course, one of the most addictive, in a good way, products in the world. So that's just your profit on the first orders, but people will be ordering this product month after month, year after year. Most of the people that you heard from tonight have been in the company for 2 years or 3 years. So, that's dozens of months of product orders. So that could be thousands and thousands of dollars just from customers. And then, of course, you're going to have some people who are going to want to join you in business. They're going to immediately see the opportunity and they're going to want to share. They're going to want to make some extra income, some plan B income. You heard all the different reasons that people join this business. It's as unique as you are. So whatever your purpose, whatever your reason, there are other people just like you. And as you pay it forward, as you share those dose samples, you just need 3 people and you can make almost $1,000 with your 7 customers. And even more importantly, you're going to help those people duplicate what you've done. Now, it never grows perfectly like this, but it gives you a sense of the type of income that's possible. Nearly $3,000 just duplicating that 7 + 3 process for your 3 people. So this is based upon the lower price of joining, as well as the higher bonuses that we have going on right now. We got some amazing pre-launch specials going on. We launch next week. And the thing that's important to understand is that the way this business works is you not only get paid on your own customers and your own brand partners, but you get paid on your people's people, up to 10 levels of leverage. You can imagine how many people drink coffee, how simple it is to build that volume out. And that's what it's really all about. So, I want to share this last slide with you and send you on your way. It's our income disclosure statement. Most companies don't want to show you this. We're proud of it. We don't hide it. We've got thousands of people who earn hundreds of dollars a month. We have hundreds of people that earn thousands of dollars a month. And we have a handful of people who've already earned millions of dollars over the last few years. So take a look at that chart, get with the person who brought you on, have them connect you with somebody who's successful. So if you want to earn 200, 300, 500, 200, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, whatever that number is, get with somebody who's already done it. Let them show you this simple process. We believe everyone deserves to be happy. That's energy, focus, health, income, freedom, opportunity, community, connection, collaboration. You heard these amazing stories from these amazing women. So get your happier pack, get your happiest pack. You can be in profit by the end of the month. Connection, commerce, what Garrett and Sylvia were talking about, that is the future of business. Everything's moving online. You can own your own online coffee shop tonight. So get back with the person who put you on this Zoom. Jennia, back to you. Thanks so much for letting me share, and thanks for pulling together so many awesome stories tonight.
Well, thanks so much, David. I appreciate you sharing all that. You guys, we're going to hop off, but I just want to say this one thing. There's no chance or random, I guess, act that you're on this call. There's a reason why you're on this call tonight and why someone led themselves to share it with you. And there is no chance, there's only choices. I seriously want you to think about yourself and invest in yourself tonight and get back to the person that wanted you on this call, because they love you very much and they are very excited about where we're going in the future. So I can't wait to see all of your amazing faces soon on social media, taking pictures with your new product, and we will all talk to you later. Get back to the person that invited you. Bye.
What are these? This is cool. Oh, a lot of people in Happy Coffee.
That was an amazing conference call with our Zoom team. Is anybody else here?
Yeah,
Awesome. Well, thanks.
that was awesome.
Thanks, Garrett and Sylvia. Have a great night.
I think they're gone.
Oh, it's still on, actually. Oh,
It is.
they were.
Oh, they were?
Yeah,
Where do you live?
Sacramento County,
Where's that?
Sacramento, California.
Oh, Sacramento.
Yeah, up north. Yeah.
How fun.
Where you at?
It looks like there's a lot of people still on.
Yeah, we're all pumped up probably. I never get on these calls, and finally I got on one. It's pretty neat.
Oh, really? I'm in Dana
Yeah.
Point.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Your name Mark? I'm Monica. Nice to meet you.
Likewise. Where are you from?
In Dana Point, California?
Oh, better weather down there.
Yeah, it's a little bit chilly now. I think it was 60 degrees. Actually, it said 60, but the sun was shining earlier.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
warmer than that.
yeah.
But
We got a lot of rain right now.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's a bummer. I don't like
yeah.
rain.
Huh.
Unless I'm sitting inside the fireplace and don't have to be out in it, then it's fine. Then it waters
Yeah.
my plant. But how long have you been in the Happy Company?
I signed up the end of like August 20th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I haven't been doing it for a while. I've been busy with other stuff. I still have my old Univera stuff, and I was working with that company for a while through November 30th.
What
Yeah,
company?
Univera.
Oh, okay. Univera. What I've heard of it. Is that
Yeah,
vitamin?
it's kind of like a company that had their own largest medicinal functional plant library in the world, and they cut out all the associates, so I no longer work for them anymore. I still